is not to make my Atma pure. The sadhana is to remove all the impurities so that the purity reveals itself. You and I are already pure. It's just that we have to remove those layers of impurity. So now, think about all of these examples that we spoke about, okay? We spoke about the king. We spoke about the moon and the clouds. We spoke about the sun. We're speaking about space. Now what I'm going to tell you, you need to think about, because now I'm going to tell you the difference between Atma and Ahankara, okay? This is where we get stuck. I am not the body is easy now for you, I think. And I am not the mind is easy. I am not Ahankara. What is the difference between Ahankara and Atma? Number one difference. Whenever I verbalize I am, that is Ahankara. Atma is the non-verbalized I am. So when I verbalize something, even at the seat of meditation, when I say I am, that's Ahankara. Atma is non-verbalized I. It doesn't speak, it doesn't say anything. It's non-verbalized. Ahankara, this individuality, belongs in the Triputi. What do I mean? All our transactions, our Vyavahara has Triputi. Pramata, Prameya, Pramana. Pramata, the knower. Prameya, the object of knowing. Pramana, the means of knowledge. So, for example, I am the Pramata, I am the knower. The book is the object of knowledge. The means is the eyes. Ahankara is in this triad, the knower, the feeler, the thinker, the doer. Atma is not in this triad. It is not the knower, the feeler, the thinker, the doer. It is not in this Triputi. So one is in this Triputi, one is not in this Triputi. Ahankara, what is Ahankara made of? Based on AtmaBodha? Panchikrita Mahabhutas, the 5 subtle elements. But which 5 subtle elements? Sattvic and Samashti Sattvic. The Samashti Sattvic component of 5 elements. Which means Ahankara is inert, it's matter, it's jada. It is composed of 5 elements. But Atma is Chaitanya, consciousness. Ahankara is inert. This I notion is inert. Ahankara is constantly dependent on Atma. My ego or my individuality is dependent on consciousness because it rises and sets in consciousness. When it wakes up in consciousness and it sets in consciousness. Atma is independent of Ahankara. On its own, it functions. It doesn't need anything. Ahankara is changing. Changing a lot of times. You know this, your individuality changes. My individuality changes. It keeps changing all the time. Atma is changeless. So now you see, like, very Viveka should be so extremely clear. What is ahankara? What is atma? I'm verbalizing something that is not atma. Little subtler than this. There's something called sakshi bhava. I'm sure you've heard this term. Wherein we practice witnesshood, or being a witness to our thoughts. Being a witness to what we're doing. I am witnessing myself speaking right now. I am witnessing myself saying these words right now out of this mouth. Sakshi bhava is nothing but the sattvic ahankara. That's not sakshi. That is sakshi bhava. That's still your ahankara, still my ahankara. It is an active witnessing. Sakshi is the passive witness. It is not sakshi bhava. It is not the active witnessing of things that are happening in and through me. It is passive sakshi. So in there's also a difference. If we can verbalize it, if we can conceptualize it, if we can experience it, it's not atma. If it's that which is what lies beneath all of our experiences, that's atma. So as we get deeper into the study of AtmaBodha, we have to slowly understand what really is this atma. So I must have given you like 6 or 7 differences. 6. So think about that. Take note of that. And when you're at the seat of meditation or when transacting the world, then you know what the self is. Because many times this is where we make a mistake.
What is the difference between the active and passive witnessing?
The difference between the active and passive witnessing is this. Active witnessing is like this. Right now, so Prashanti, feel like you can witness your thoughts, right? You can witness your thoughts. It's still kind of an active witnessing, right? You hear your thoughts and you're witnessing your thoughts. And there's thoughts, there's you, you're witnessing something. Passive witness means it's objectless awareness. There is no more object, it's just a presence. Right now I'm still a witness of my thoughts. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my words. I'm aware that I'm doing all of this. It's still active witnessing. There's 2 things there. When I'm passively witnessing, it's objectless awareness. It's just there. It's just a witness.
So why
it's not
is
really
it called a
different.
witness if it is not witnessing anything? Like,
It's called witness because we have to translate it into English, right? It's called witness because it is a passive witness. It's not an active witness like some crime happened and I saw the crime and I witnessed it. It's not like that, right? So that's why I'm making this distinction now. It's not actively witnessing. It's
so basically, there's nothing to describe it. It is. That's it.
It is. You can't describe it because words don't go there, right? Words tried to go there and they came back. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says, right? Yato vacho nivartante. The words went there and they said, uh-oh, and they came back.
Is the analogy better maybe that Sakshi versus Sakshi Baddha? Like one is Sakshi, the other one is like Sakshi, but it is not the Sakshi. Again, still not explaining it. It is the quality of one behaves like a witness. So one is actual witness Sakshi, the other one is Sakshi Baddha. Same way Neelata Divatta. Nilata is the blueness, Nilata the Vat, as if it is in blue color. Something like an analogy.
So why I use the term Sakshi Bhava is because that's what people are familiar with,
Yeah.
right? Practicing witnesshood or whatever. I mean, if you're practicing it, it's not Atma, right? It's so clear. And practicing witnesshood, or practice being a witness, it's good. We need to do it because that's the sattvic ahankara, witnessing ourselves, watching ourselves doing certain things, making us more alert. But that's not Atma.
Because then you're still doing.
You're still doing, right?
Not being.
You're not being.
Yeah.
So you can even see it as doing and being, right? This kind of witnesshood where you're still doing. Like just you do it right now. You witness yourself writing A, B, C, or whatever notes. You see every single letter that you write. It's still doing. This is just being.
That's why you're saying that the doing is a sattvic ahankara, because it's at least doing the witnessing.
Correct.
Because otherwise you're not even doing the witnessing, you're so absorbed in what you're doing that you think you are the doer.
Yes.
But now you're stepping back to see, I am not the doer, but you're watching. Watching is still an action, therefore you're still doing.
That
Yes.
is the sattvic. That is the sattvic ahankara, right?
Sattvic
When we step back and we are
Stepping
watching.
back and
Yes.
watching, but it's still an action, right? You're still
Yes, you're
doing
doing.
something. But imagine if that became your being.
It's a step
So-
higher than the doing, you know,
So-
the doing is
It's not
just.
even
If we move to
Without
the
any
sattvic
bhava.
ahankara, that itself is an
Oh,
achievement.
yes.
That itself
If you
is
could do
a
that.
great achievement.
Yes.
Imagine just walking and being aware of breathing, being aware of each step, being aware of, that mindfulness kind of concept is also kind of Sakshi Bhava, right? You're just aware of everything that's happening, but you're not awareness, huh?
But
Aware of-
But if I am aware of the sattvic ahankara, I mean, I'm putting it in very
Yeah.
terms. Can I know if this is sattvic ahankara? Because if I know it, then it is ahankara, right? You know what I
So
mean?
it is a
It is
sattvic
still
ahankara.
ahankara.
Yeah,
It is
it's
still ahankara.
still ahankara, right? It's still ahankara, but it's sattvic. You know?
It's a better
It's a
word.
good, it's
But
a
you're-
good witnessing.
That's what, it's like sometimes you, even in that sattvic feeling, you feel, am I being egotistic? Am I,
No, I mean, you tell it for what it is. You see, the thing in spiritual practice is, look, say it for what it is, right? If your mind is sattvic now, if your ahankara is sattvic now, it's your sattvic ahankara that's going to say you're a sattvic ahankara, right?
yeah,
It is
that's
your
what I'm
sattvic-
asking,
It
yes.
is your sattvic ahankara that's going to say is a sattvic ahankara, but as long as you're pure about it, right? Right now, the ahankara is sattvic. Later on, it's tamasic. This is tamasic. As long as it's pure, and it's not that boastful kind of thing. Because it's even, at the end of the day, it's even your ahankara that will say, I am Atma. Do you understand?
Right.
The seed of meditation, who is saying, I am Atma? Not Atma. It's the sattvic ahankara that's saying, I am Atma, I am Atma, I am Atma. And only when that's all into silence, and the silence beyond that silence, that is Atma. Huh? The one who's saying, I am Atma is not Atma. Right?
Because Atma doesn't need to say I am Atma.
Right, why would Atma need to say, I am Atma, right?
It's there.
It's
It
this,
is.
it
It
just
is.
is. It's this ahankara that needs to kind of remind itself, hey, this is not you. Now kind of dissolve into you. Dissolve into you. We've seen this example many times, that salt doll which dissolves into that
Water.
ocean. Yeah?
Kataka,
Yeah, Katakareem that we saw.
Kataka.
Right? And even with, here it's a little different, but with Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he says that ego wanted to know how deep is the ocean, right? And it just dissolved. It just melted. That salt doll melted into the salt ocean. So that ahankara, when it goes deep, deep, deep and wants to know what's beyond there, how deep is it, what's going on, it goes deep, 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 it itself will dissolve into the self. It will dissolve into the self. And when it does that, there's no words to be spoken. It just is. Hmm? So what happens in spiritual practice is we miss this out. So this we have to know, that this is still sattvic ahankara. It's not atma.
But maybe in day-to-day practice, the Vivekji's words are probably worth remembering. I to, we to, he. I mean, we, of course, wherever, but
Yeah.
that, Sarvam Sri Krishna is not a good way.
That's a very good way.
So I'm not the door, you are not the door, none of us, Bhagavan, we're instruments. so to say.
Correct, correct. So the thing is, we have to pick up whatever way works for us, right? This is spirituality in a sense, right? Whatever way works for you, pick that up. If it's Bhagavan's working through me, great. If I want to practice being a witness, great. Whatever, it doesn't, as long as we're moving towards God, that's the most important thing. When I say God, I mean the self, the true self. So as long as we're moving towards God, the true self, Atma, whatever spiritual practice you take up is fine, as long as we're moving, right? We have to take up what suits our mind. It's like Gurudev always says, when you come to, why a guru so important? Because the book will tell you one practice for all minds. Whereas all of our minds are so different. So the diagnosis is going to be so different. When you have a guru, the guru will say, for your mind, do this. And for your mind, do that. And for your mind, do that. So that will take us higher. So now I think we should have a little bit of mananam. I think it would be good for you all to discuss some things. And then we can come back together, and if you don't have any questions after that, we'll sit for a quiet meditation. If you have questions, then we can address those, okay? So maybe split into two groups. I'll give you the questions. So question number 1. Question number 1 is, what is the problem? What is the actual problem of all seekers as per verse 15? Question number 2. What is the solution to the problems pointed out in verse 16 and 17? Question number 3. Define Sakshi as per verses 18, 19, 20, and 21. So you highlight each one. What is Sakshi? And question number 4. What is the difference between Sakshi and Ahankara? Discuss those differences one by one. So I think I'll give you maybe about 15 minutes or so to do, 15-20 minutes to do your questions. Really think these through, do the questions, and then we'll come together. Okay? So we can split into 2 groups, mix and match. Identifying with the 5 sheep. Yes. That is the problem. body.
No, it's
Next one.
we think like Annamaya Kosha.
What is the solution to number 16?
We should know.
Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha.
We should know. You don't understand anything.
Oh, no, I was, but you can tell her, like, gross body, right, first one.
No, you are not.
Second is
No, you are not.
subtle body, which is your organs, sense organs.
No, you are not.
Third is your mind.
These are such
Intellect.
Intellect.
Then it's Anandamaya, is like bliss.
Yeah, Manomaya is the mind and
It's a little confusing, the vocabulary, right? And this is subtle called
Vijnanamaya is the ego.
intellect.
Ego.
Second question I didn't get clearly.
Spiritual high.
No, but this is not Ananda.
What is it?
Yes.
But aren't we supposed to remove the sheet and blow that as Atma? And isn't Atma
What is the
Satchitananda? How can Anandamaya Kosha be one of the sheet? Satchitananda. You're supposed to remove the sheet and go deeper.
Yeah, because the 16 is like
Just beyond the silence.
You have to do the power.
No, but you feel
You
the
know,
The
you have the
feelings,
right
feeling, emotions are below your
So
deeper
get rid
than
of
that, so
the
your.
ignorance
That's
by
right.
But it's not
pointing,
Satchitananda.
and then you leave the, you say
I don't
to
think it's
yourself,
possible for us to.
you are not.
You can experience it possibly, but you
Go
can't
beyond
to
that.
go beyond
You are
that.
Anandamaya
Like,
Kosha.
like,
Because
I
it
don't think
is
there's
inside,
words that we
the
have
rice
to
is inside.
experience the
So the
consciousness
bounding has to be
going
constantly
beyond
done.
that consciousness. We won't be,
Our
it's
our
not beyond
mind
existence,
has
right?
to
How
be
would we don't know
trained
that?
every
So
day.
you mean Atma is beyond that set?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The silence beyond the silence.
Silent, yeah, just like this legs.
She's setting up for failure. Setting us up for failure. That's
Take
exactly
out the vasana, you take out the negativity.
Oh,
Because
I have this question, we are moving.
If you do the boundary,
So
you
let's
cannot
go
get
to
the
the
rice out.
Solution.
But we don't throw
16, what did she
the,
say?
rice
Right.
pack
So
in
what
the
should I
dish.
do now?
Yeah, we have
Now that I know the
Take the
term.
rice pack, beat it little bit, get
Logically,
the
thinking with
rice
in
and
16
pound
and
it.
17
In a
is
different
Cause
shape and find
and
how to reason.
so,
Then to see the close.
anybody?
This is the solution, 16, 17.
Pounded, sifted. Each kosha and ask for the
16 and 17, she says.
16,
Basically,
Solution.
pound of rice, like the husk is pounded and the rice is. We need to really through logic.
Even after knowing that.
So we have to see what we are wanting to see what we are. So we cannot be the koshas. So logically we have to go down and keep removing every other to see what we actually are. Because that's what the verse 16
You
is.
think you are this shape, even though you know
Kosha is
intellectually.
why can't we? Because it is
But
your
you're
permanent. And why can't
But
we
you
do
still
the
have-
kosha? Because it's
So that's
permanent, it is unchangeable. So
The
purity.
purity of heart,
because the
purity
kosha
of mind,
impermanent
clarification.
and always change and that's why we cannot be able to keep questioning that. And verse 17 is where she started.
Just put our consciousness, right, and Atma.
Yes.
Everything has a everything has
An
an Atma.
But because everything doesn't have
Consciousness.
yeah, everything is Atma, so
18 years.
Yeah, this is the question she asked,
Every
outline the,
Yes.
but it's not, everything has,
But
Chit
it's
is
not
not
manifest.
manifest.
That doesn't really make any.
Sat is manifest in Chit is, that's why we feel that it's
Just the
not.
presence of the.
And that's what Vaidya also says, you know, it's Like water bottle, the water bottle, the example. My water bottle. It is, so we think there is no movement on that, but there is Atma. But what's the solution? So the first one is going deeper. And what is yours?
But love is at the moment.
I always watch whenever I see the highway, I always watch
It only manifests in the way fulfillment of the intellect, the reflection of the clean, basically clean our equipment, and we can't see it.
Yeah, we have to purify our this is the impurities.
This is not
We have to remove the impurities and
That's
what
20.
is karma yoga?
So there is also.
Bhakti yoga. So
Asanas are cured, we get through karma
Oh, that
yoga.
is nice.
That's 21.
So
Service.
there's
That's
your
class.
class.
That's
You're
it.
like
Your-
I thought it's, or not really, but pure.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Yes, through karma
Good.
yoga.
And they
No,
mine was when it back
So that is the second solution.
No, that is it.
Like the mana and the Vikshepa through karma yoga and bhakti yoga.
Yeah.
Like,
19 is the art
but there is 18.
And non-dual also have the example of.
Define something. Okay, we have all the examples.
Define something in the Pranayas and 20.
It's king.
And
Yeah,
you should
so
be
the
able to
king is present, everything for functions beautifully. Yeah. Just the presence is enough for everybody.
And
You are the key.
And everyone should be like you. So,
And you should also be thinking of
nothing can happen without us. So it basically witnesses everything.
non-dual.
It's all powerful. Everything
When
is
you
functions
go
working
down,
as well. That is the king and then the son.
Yeah.
The non-dual.
And eliminating the entire world.
nature of transition.
So, sun is making, I mean, our consciousness.
So it's the non-dual, basically we're superimposing like the clouds and the moon.
Yeah, when they
Everything, yeah. So the clouds and the moon, I think is the example in the shloka.
Atma is not changeless.
So basically, we
How
are
we think it's
superimposing.
Yeah, we are doing that super.
Yeah, that is
Action.
also Atma is pure and which
That
can
we are doing it on the artwork,
We're
just as
superimposing the
clouds.
functions
Yeah,
of our
like the clouds
Yes, I
superimpose
know.
on
as if they are one.
Yeah, that's the way superimpose.
It's because it's pure.
How do you function? I said, if you're always doing this, how do you function in this place? If you just sit and observe, you don't interact. Like, say I'm just sitting here.
A definition.
You're
And I-
sakshi, everything.
yeah.
I'm always for you to see your,
You are-
she said, you know,
A definition of
there are two
everything
things.
you
and on the seat of meditation, not land, there is no seated. But in the samsara,
are.
karana,
Even doing your own.
that is the
expression
instrument of
your
God.
art.
Because we have to do, we can't fight. Six, there are two things.
Yeah.
The first one, if you, while you're doing, you're witnessing also.
Yes.
Means while you're doing the action in the work, but your mind or your
I will not give it.
attachment or your thinking should be at a higher plane.
Level.
Because
She explained the five differences.
It's not.
Seat of meditation, you are that, you know, you can. We have to interact, we are human beings. We have to interact with the world and then the karana. I think that's the
So Atma
word.
is inner that exists.
Be an instrument
Known,
of
seeker
God,
of
of
knowing.
Bhagavan.
And then
And then she
what you
explained
know.
that also.
Like the book is,
That, you know, the musical
what you know. Eyes
explained.
are looking at the book.
We should have an emptiness.
Emptiness with no ego.
Meaning is what it is.
And then
Should be tuned.
But we should be tuned. And we need to be first empty of the ego.
It's settled, it's like Sakshi is not settled.
Tuning is through daily sadhana. And then Bhagwan is declared, let no one play me, object and instrument, right? And since he loves all his instruments alive, and he makes sure that we stay, like if we fall, we, you know, he'll take care of us. So that is his instrument, like, although he says in Bhagavad Gita, Nimitta Matram, we are instrument of God, I like the way she
Ahankara
broke
drives
it down to
So
a
it's always quantum.
And it's same T, and then somebody needs something, it needs tuning.
and it needs to
It's
be.
everything.
sadhana.
It is everything.
So that was our.
It is just there, it's just
Yeah.
free. It does
What's
not
important is that
say
she
no
did
or
say that
knowing,
you have to be empty.
right? It doesn't
Yes,
say-
yes.
That's
If
how
you're
it takes the
not
ego out
empty,
of not an instrument then.
you don't have an instrument.
The
But
ego
always
and the
thinking of
ahankara
something that
out
you
of
need to-
yourself.
Okay.
The vasanas, samskaras, that's the baggage.
What it wants and was not part to, for us to
You all
follow.
things, but now
Get it out.
for your.
That is
It
based
is
on
fire.
five.
And this
Ahankara is
Sakshi is
based
the
on five
non-self,
elements.
only as a seat of meditation. Because otherwise we are doing.
Atma is conscious.
That the Sakshi is not doing throughout.
Fourth is.
We are doing.
Yeah, in the sense.
The Sakshi is
It's
not
changing.
doing
Yes.
this. We are the instruments. Sakshi is there watching.
Right.
It's like a picture, it's like the picture is
Others
there,
says
we may be
Ahankara is
doing
always
everything,
changing.
there's that,
Atma is
that's that light or that energy within us that is watching all the time,
All the time.
versus the
24/7, whether we are sleeping or not.
But I understand Prashant's contradiction, that in the extreme case, are we just also supposed to
No, but that's where the karana comes. You
We're
are
not
an
supposed to
instrument
sit
there.
and do nothing.
You don't see it as you, but an
So
instrument.
let's say you are
That's the only way you can
So can we
get
just sit
it
there and
on
do
to
nothing?
worship.
Can we just sit there and do nothing?
No, we are doing, but we should do it with emptiness in us,
Without
with
attachment.
daily
And
and let God consider this, everything I do as what Bhagwan wants.
And Adi
Without
Shankara,
that,
doing
that means the
I
eye
was
is pushed
thinking
away
Mm.
in our
He
daily
was
life.
doing it, without him, not to learn.
Right.
Then
So
verse
just,
just
just that they are able to do it without all those other egos and ahankaras.
She is doing too, she's teaching.
Right, she's doing it.
It's not like you're just
But
sitting and, yeah.
as an instrument, they are told the ego aside. That's what they are trying, not simply all. They're empty.
How they should.
And they are fine tuning themselves with sadhana.
Daily they're doing, they're not.
So I have a question. Did you also
Yes,
silent
makes sense.
camp?
That's
Yeah.
our, they are the best examples of karma,
Yeah, I agree.
because they have no.
Seated in
What
the
is that? Just one day.
They
Just
are samsara.
That's interesting, but actually,
Then
this
you are-
is a daily process.
Yes.
You can be empty today and get filled up tomorrow.
Today, this moment, in the next moment,
It's
you
not
can't.
easy for them.
Yes,
So I just decided yesterday, it's not like
They are not going to
tomorrow,
try and
today I'm gonna be silent. But my neighbor came and brought me flowers, so I can't tell.
Yes,
So
they
they
may
made
be
me
moving faster or moving and
Because they're devoted to
Good point.
that alone, they're devoted to that alone. Whereas if they are realized all
but still they are
Multiple
also.
things, multiple
Yeah, I know, but I just decided
They
to
are
go
sitting
early in the
there.
morning, so I texted my
Let's
family
do
and said,
20
"Okay,
minutes.
it's fine, so they won't call me.
So
Or
unaffected, you mean it.
That's
So, it's like the sun.
It is there. How you-
That's what we were.
Yes.
It's not even doing it, it is.
More difficult.
I think it's learning how to,
It's just, it's nature.
Practice.
This is practice.
They should all have a nature.
If I say.
That's
I-
why they are
Yes.
so to manage day-to-day events.
Everybody's